Young Bucks fans fired up at PNC Park today. It's another Kids Day Sunday. Pirate Parrot Gnomes being given out. They're excited about that. They're also excited about the prospect of another Pirates sweep. They've won the first 2 games over the Atlanta Braves. Hi again, everybody, with Bob Walk. I'm Tim Neverett. Robbie Ince-Mikowski will join us in a little bit. Andrew McCutchen is okay. He is back in the lineup. X-rays yesterday negative. Says he'll be a little sore. But, Bob, he says he's also getting a little tired of being thrown at.
Well, he's been hit a couple times in a row now. He's been pitched inside the last couple of weeks just regularly. And you can understand why he's getting so frustrated about getting hit, especially in the elbow. But the good thing, and you mentioned this, is he's going to be okay. We can't have Andrew McCutchen out of that lineup. I mean, he means everything to this team.
Andrew McCutchen, the subject of our Allegheny Health Network injury update. A battle of left-handers today. Alex Wood going for the Braves, Jeff Locke for the Pirates.
Well, we've done a pretty good job against left-handers, and I really feel good. Anytime we're seeing one out there on the mound, this is an important game for us to sweep. We got to win today, and hopefully Locke will be on his game and at home. He has pitched very well. ERA in the very low 3s. So right now it's looking like a W.
Just put together a couple of real good starts in a row, and for Alex Wood, he gave up a season-high 10 hits in his last outing against the Nationals on Tuesday. It's time to steal a sweep. The Pirates have swept 3 teams already from the National League East. Will it be 4 after today? It's the Pirates and the Braves. First pitch coming up from PNC Park.
Toyota helps you get the most out of your drive. Just ask a friend who drives one. Toyota, let's go places. By Barrel Automotive, we're driven to be better. And by PNC Bank, for the achiever in you. Let's go Bucks.
Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. A little overcast today, but there is some blue sky in between the clouds. Shouldn't have a problem weather-wise today as the Bucks get set to wrap up this homestand and wrap up this 3-game series with the Atlanta Braves, looking for a 3-game sweep. Jeff Locke leading his team out onto the field, and there is Gorkis Hernandez who just went by. Jung Ho Gung taking the field as well. Pirates with a couple of roster moves today, and Gorkis Hernandez among them. He'll be out in right field. Jeff Locke looking for his 5th win, making his 15th start today. Hernandez called up from AAA today, as well as Steve Lombardozzi. They're both here. Take a look at the Braves lineup. It's presented by Honda. Jace Peterson, a .267 hitter. Yesterday was his 19th multi-hit game of the season. It was his double in the 7th that chased Charlie Morton. Morton would still get the win. Maben, Markakis, Johnson, Brzezinski, Siriaco, and Gomes, with Simmons batting 8th, and the pitcher Alex Wood hitting 9th.
Take a look at Jeff's numbers on the season. The opponent batting average, ERA, those things are better here at home. So I think he'll be well, we always see it. He's a little bit of a different, more comfortable pitcher here. And as most often, it comes down to what kind of command he's going to have that fastball this afternoon. Can he hit his spots with it?
Take a look at the Pirates defense. We start in the outfield. Gorkis Hernandez is back. He appeared with the Pirates in 25 games in 2012. Andrew McCutchen in center field today. Marte is in left, and Gung, Mercer, Harrison, Rodriguez around the infield left to right. Cervelli completes the battery with Jeff Locke. Kutch looking like he's going to wear an elbow pad today. He's got the sleeve on the left elbow, and might wear the plastic elbow pad when he comes to the plate. Clint Hurdle looking for another victory. Pirates with 42, looking for 43. Bucks will head out tomorrow night to Detroit for a 3-game series, and back before the All-Star break. They'll play a number of games, including 3 with Cleveland, 3 with San Diego, and 4 with the Cardinals. Time to take care of some business with the Braves. Jeff Locke pitching to Peterson. We're underway with strike 1.
As that first pitch of the game, you can see the fastball command that we're talking about. And he put those fastballs where he wants, stay on the edge with it. And when he does it, the fastball can get knocked around a little bit. The opposition has a .330 batting average this year against his fastballs, and that's why it's so important to keep it out of the middle of the plate. The curveball is the pitch. That right there, that's the one nobody hits.
Locke making his 6th career start against the Braves. He's 1-1 against them. It's the team that drafted him. And it's funny how things work out sometimes, because Charlie Morton pitched yesterday. Morton, along with Locke and Gorkis Hernandez, came over to the Pirates in that deal for Nate McLouth. And there you got Charlie right there, Hernandez in right field, and Locke pitching. So deal worked out very well for the Pirates. Jeff lets that one go for Jordy, and there's 1 out. Rivers Casino tips to win for today, Bob.
Well, the first one, don't get stuck in the mud. Even though we haven't had any rain to speak of today, the field is still going to be very soft. Going to be a slow track, going to be some slippery areas. And we did see some guys get stuck in the mud, to be literal, yesterday.
Yes.
One of them we were just showing there in Marte. And Kutch, take it out on the baseball. We talked in the open about how frustrated he is, and I think he's going to be a man on a mission this afternoon. And, I wouldn't want to be that baseball when he's up there.
Cameron Maben, the batter.
He's going to be trying to hurt that baseball.
Hope so. Like to see that. Maben fouls that one off. 1 ball and 1 strike. Maben hitting .286. Did not start the first game in center field, but he has been the regular center fielder for the Braves this season since coming over from the Padres. Chewing a lot of gum, too. Jeff missed. 3 balls and a strike. Locke falling behind Maben. 3-1 delivery. And he's walked it. Well, the Braves with a man aboard and 1 out. Now Jeff will face the left-handed hitter, Nick Markakis. Markakis, the right fielder. Hitting in the 3 spot for the Braves. He's been hitting in the middle of the order predominantly the entire year. Still no home runs. He has 16 extra base hits, all of them doubles. First pitch to Markakis from Locke. A strike call. Cervelli bluffed the throw down there to first base. Maben does have 13 steals, been caught 4 times. One will wait to throw to first instead.
Maben, with his speed, he might think, well, slow track today, who cares? I can still make it. We saw yesterday, Marte didn't seem to be too bothered. He was running all over the place.
Now, his slide was certainly one to remember.
He was able to steal home.
Well, Pirates pulling off a double steal yesterday, and Marte scoring on it. Alvarez was on the other side. That drew the attention when he got off first base. And that enabled Marte to get home. First time the Pirates have pulled off a steal of home in 2 seasons. McCutchen was the last guy to do it against the Cubs, July of 2013 at Wrigley Field. Pitch low to Markakis. 1 ball and 1 strike. Some socialization in the bullpen. Jake Brigham, who had been with the Pirates system, called up yesterday by the Braves. Or was it today? I think they've been making different moves. Might have been today, actually. I think they sent Sugar Ray Merrimon down today. Sugar Ray was sent out there by Freddie Gonzalez yesterday. And then sent back to Gwinnett today. 2 balls and a strike. Maben off of first base. Markakis awaits the pitch from Locke. And Jeff down low.
There's a little early issue here with the control for sure. He's fallen behind in the count. Is not able to command that fastball yet. And one thing that Jeff always does is when he's behind in the count, he throws a lot of fastballs. 3/4 of his pitches are fastballs, and then he'll mix in a few changeups.
And throw to first. Of his 15 pitches, 10 of them have been outside the strike zone. He's only thrown 5 strikes out of 15 pitches.
Looking at the pitches he throws when he's behind in a count, I think one of the things that might help him is if he can get to where he can throw his curveball for strikes when he's behind in the count, because he never ever throws it hardly.
Rodriguez goes to second for 1, and Locke covering at first. Got there too late. And Markakis is aboard on a fielder's choice.
Yeah, Locke wasn't covering at first. Never got anywhere close to the base. Now, it's a little more difficult for a left-hand pitcher to get over there because you finish on that side. But see, Locke, he never got to the bag. It almost looked like, to me, he slowed up for a moment when Sean was fielding the ball. like he thought he wasn't going to have to go to first base. And then he picked it up again after just a little slight hesitation. I think everything kind of stacked up on him there. Being left-handed, falling the other side, a little bit of a hesitation. And he mixed that all together, and he's late.
Ball on a strike to Chris Johnson, first baseman. 2:30. He'll start some games, come off the bench some games, but typically it's another Johnson, Kelly Johnson, that replaces it. Kind of interchangeable with each other. The other Johnson, Kelly, is a left-handed hitter. And a shot toward Mercer. What a stab! They get the force out at second. Jordy Mercer throwing the leather around early. Terrific play by the Pirates shortstop. He takes a hit away from Chris Johnson.
Able to make a nice accurate throw to Jay Hay taking it like a first baseman, just keeping his foot on the bag for a long time, making sure there was no, look at it, nice and easy, keep your foot on the bag, show the umpire the baseball. We don't have to worry about did the foot come off early or any of that kind of stuff. They need to look at it.
Pirates lineup is presented by Toyota. Josh Harrison leading off. Gone McCutchen, Marte, Cervelli, Mercer, Rodriguez, Hernandez, and Watt batting ninth. Jay Hay ready to see his first pitch of the game, and Wood deals him a strike. Alex Wood, second time against the Pirates this year, pitched against them on the 7th of June in Atlanta. Up in the air to right center. Maven calls off Markakis, and there's one down.
That was a game he didn't care for his umpire, correct?
He did not. Wood was ejected in the top of the 5th when the inning ended. And the home plate umpire that day, Mark Carlson, ended up throwing him out of the game suddenly. And unexpectedly, Freddie Gonzalez had to go to his bullpen.
Most of his games have been pretty good. 3.44 ERA, not bad at all.
No balls and a strike. And Gunn is hit by a pitch. The Pirates with a base runner. So the chances now of Lightning striking twice in the same place are a lot less, with Andrew McCutchen batting next. Kutch comes up. Let's go check in with Robbie.
McCutchen's going to be wearing the elbow guard. He is indeed at the plate with it right now. And this is something he discussed last night immediately after the game. He said this is not the most comfortable scenario for him wearing the elbow guard. Now, he has worn one before, and he says it feels a little restricted. Now, the challenge is finding one comfortable enough so at least he has some protection. He said he did fear the worst immediately after being hit last night because he was so numb. Normally it wears off. Last night it persisted. Tim?
Looks like that's a hockey elbow pad he's got on there. Quick throw to first base. And Jung Ho gets back. So he's got the shin guard, the elbow guard. Those are the ones that are visible. And he swings and hits this one well to right field. Markakis going back. And on the track, he'll make the catch. And back to first base goes Jung Ho. And he sent out a tweet earlier. Tweets brought to us by Point Park University. He said elbow guard, ribbon back guard, shin guard, RoboCop outfit. Hashtag working on it. Alex Wood has 2 outs, facing the cleanup man Marte.
Marte with a very nice game yesterday.
3 hits yesterday.
It was his bobblehead day, right?
It was, so it's kind of a law, isn't it?
Performed on cue.
Isn't that one of the unwritten rules of baseball? If it's your bobblehead day, you have to have a good game.
Yeah, or T-shirt day, whatever day it is.
Probably a good day for the Parrot. I think the Parrot's going to have the game of the year today.
He will have. I should have put that in the tips.
Parrot giveaway today. Parrot Gnome.
I bet you the Parrot gets a hot dog in the booth today because it's his day.
I bet you're right.
There's the Gnome.
He is well overdue in the 3rd inning, shooting one of the hot dogs between innings up in the booth. 2 balls and a strike. Alex Wood out of the University of Georgia, lives in Charlotte, North Carolina. The lefty looking in for a sign, and he's got a 2-1 pitch coming to Marte. Count is even. 2-2. Second round pick of the Braves in 2012. 85th player taken overall that year. Jung Ho Gung at first base, 2 outs. Marte waiting for the 2-2 pitch. We'll get another. That's a foul ball. A.J. Brzezinski wanted to play it anyway.
That was called foul early. Must have come off Marte's body. But now they're talking about it.
Freddie Gonzalez tripping over at James Hoy, the home plate umpire, about that particular play.
Well, we'll see right now. Yeah, it's
what is it, foul ball and a half.
Hit him right in the leg.
There goes Gung. Pitch outside, throw down, and Jung Ho's got a stolen base. Stolen base number 5.
The Brzezinski just is not throwing hardly anybody out. Look at Gung even able to take a look. He's looking over his shoulder, see what's going on. Poor throw. Now you see a good throw. Definitely would have had him, but ball was offline.
3-2 pitch. Check swing, and he's called out at the plate. James Hoy said he went around. That is strike 3. And we are scoreless after 1 inning at PNC Park.
Pirates Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by the Chevy Colorado and your Western PA Chevy dealers. And by Day Automotive, we're gonna make your day. Let's go Bucks!
No score on the UPMC scoreboard. Top of the second inning. Some traffic moving under the Clemente Bridge. The river, you can tell, is a certain color, same color after a rainstorm. That'll clear up. Well, a good day to be on the river, too. It's a nice day down here today. A little overcast, but nice summer Sunday afternoon in Pittsburgh. There's A.J. Pierzynski to face Jeff Locke. The Braves catcher takes a strike. Pierzynski takes low for a ball. He's been around. He started with the Minnesota Twins. 1998 made his big league debut with the Twins. He stayed with the Twins for a while. He was there until 2003. He also had a season in San Francisco with the Giants. Spent a bunch of years in Chicago with the White Sox. Last couple of years he's kicked around. Texas 2013 and split 2014 between Boston and St. Louis, and now here in Atlanta. I guess that's what happens when you're an older player. You can still do your job. Sometimes you've got to move from team to team toward the end of your career. And he goes down swinging.
Now, normally that happens a little bit more often with a pitcher, especially relief guys, but I guess it's true for the older players also, the regular position players. Pretty good curveball.
One out, and Pedro Siriaco at the plate. It's Jeff Locke. Siriaco started with the Diamondbacks, but didn't appear in the big leagues with them. Made his big league debut with the Pirates after he was traded from the Diamondbacks here to Pittsburgh. Had considerable big league time in Boston with the Red Sox. Was up and down between AAA, but did spend a lot of time at the big club, and now finds himself here in Atlanta. That is strike two.
He's got two balls well off the plate inside, and now he's behind 0-2.
No balls, two strikes to Siriaco. One out, base is empty. Folks are fouling out of play. Siriaco's a pretty good defender. That's been more of his calling card than anything else. Been his glove. Been shortstop primarily, although he's playing third base today. Siriaco making his 10th start of the season for Atlanta. 0-2 pitch. One ball, two strikes.
Not the kind of Braves lineup we've seen over the years.
Well, they've changed some personnel around. They've got some guys that filled some holes for them, but it's just different looking. And Freddie Gonzalez pieced together different lineups each day. Braves still hanging in there, though, 6.5 behind the division leading Washington Nationals in third place in the NL East. 5 games under 500.
Yeah, it's not really taking a lot to hang in that National League East. Not playing very good baseball over there.
Swing and a miss, strike three.
See the nice circle change grip on the pitch.
2 down for Johnny Gomes.
I remember my dad trying to teach me tennis. I kept hitting
Gomes has been on World Series teams in the past. He's been in the postseason a bunch. Cincinnati went to the postseason with the Oakland Athletics twice. And a World Series ring in 2013 with Boston. And ball 1 strike to Gomes. Missed low again. 2-1. 30th time he started a game this year. When he does start, the Braves, his previous 29 starts, are 14 and 15, a game under. Up front, it's 2-2. Locke looking a lot better here in the second than he did in the first. And he walked Maben. Then he got a couple of ground balls, helped him out. Jeff now with more strikes than balls thrown. 19 strikes, 18 balls. Full count to Johnny Gomes, 2 down. And Locke's payoff pitch. Missed on the inside half, and that's his second walk. This will bring up Andrelton Simmons, the shortstop. Pirates are hosting University Days at PNC Park this season. Join fellow fans and alums of your university for a night at PNC Park. You'll receive a Pirates cap in your university colors. Tickets start at just $19. The next university night is Wednesday, July 8th against the Padres, 7:05 for WVU fans. For tickets, go to pirates.com/WVU. Pitch to Simmons, missed. Jeff's trying to live on the corners, but he hasn't been able to get too many calls, if any, on the corners. Trying to go inside that time, and it's 2-0.
I don't really think it's a case of not getting calls, though. I think he legitimately is missing. In fact, when Siriaco was up there, he did get some balls called strikes. He just is not being able to locate that fastball right now. It's something he needs to get figured out sooner than later.
Tried the corner on the inside and missed, and it's 3-0.
But that's why I would. I like the fact that guys can throw curveballs for strikes behind an account, or slider, or whatever, some kind of breaking pitch.
That's ball 4.
Because what happens when all you're throwing behind an account is a fastball, then you feel like you have to put it right on the corner. So you see him even on a 2-0 count or a 3-0 count, he's still trying to hit a corner. Whereas if you're throwing say a curveball for a strike, now you're just trying to kind of keep it down, but you got the whole plate to work with. When you're throwing that breaking ball. But when you're throwing a fastball in a fastball count like 3-0, 3-1, you don't want to just lay it right down the middle, and just you're a guy that has great velocity, can just blow gas. But if you don't, if you have average velocity and now you're trying to throw fastballs in fastball counts, now you're trying to pick a corner, and if you had that kind of control, you wouldn't be in the fastball count to begin with. So you gotta develop something else to throw for a strike when you get behind an account. And looking at his numbers this year, 65%, actually over 65% of the time, he's throwing fastballs in fastball counts. So he has to try and hit those corners all the time.
And strike 1 over the outside corner to Alex Wood.
See, now you're ahead in the count. Now is when you can really make sure, okay, on the next fastball I throw, I'm going to try to put it right on the edge inside or right on the edge outside.
Cervelli wants it inside, and Wood bunts. Picked up by Locke. He fires to first to get him. And Wood trying to surprise him with 2 outs. But nothing across for the Braves. Go to the bottom of the second. This day in Pirates history. This date, 1970, the Pirates swept a doubleheader from the Cubs at Forbes Field in the final games ever played at the ballpark. Al Oliver homered in the first inning of Game 2 for the final home run at the ballpark. And it was Bill Mazeroski who stepped on second base for the game's final out. Dave Justy got the win. Pirates 3-2 victory in Game 1 and the save in Game 2. Bucks would win that one 4-1. Well, Jeff Locke, 3 walks in the game, but still in decent shape. Look over where Forbes Field was. Over near the Pitt campus.
Ivy covered wall.
Still there. Well, here is Francisco Cervelli leading off the Pirates half of the second inning. Cervelli takes ball 1. Cervelli hitting .306, but has a team-leading .389 batting average this year against left-handed pitchers. Ground ball to third. There is Siriaco with it. 1 out. First chance in the field for Pedro Siriaco today. Well, Jordy Mercer will come up. Mercer's had a good series, had a walk-off hit in Friday night's win, 3-2 win by the Pirates. Ended up with 3 hits in the game, a couple of doubles.
He's been swinging the bat pretty good for a while now. Just a lot of it is now he's trying to find some holes. Things are starting to fall in for him. For a while there, it seemed like he was lining out to somebody at least once a game.
And he goes up the middle for another hit.
There you go. That's what we're talking about. Hit them where they ain't.
Jordy had 2 hits and 2 RBIs yesterday, and he starts his day off here with the first hit of the ballgame. Right past the pitcher Alex Wood and into center field. Really good to see. A welcome sight with what Jordy Mercer's been doing. Sean Rodriguez playing first today. Balls and a strike to Rodriguez. Played the last couple of innings for Pedro at first base yesterday. We'll see that from time to time when there are right-handed starters and Pedro's in the lineup. Rodriguez coming off the bench as a defensive replacement late. He's been getting the starts lately against the lefties. Not always at first base, sometimes in the outfield, but today back at first. Mercer at first base, 1 out. 1-2 to Sean. Today is the 48th appearance at first base for him this season. He's made 10 in right field, 5 in left, 3 at third base, and 3 at second base.
Play anywhere.
Two-tone clouds up in the sky. 1-2. And Sean goes down swinging. 2 men out for the Pirates in the second inning. Second strikeout for Alex Wood.
Actually, it's a pretty good pitch to hit. Mid-thigh and right in the middle of the inside half. Four-seam fastball.
Kind of a mixed bag up there, huh? Blue skies, white clouds, and then the dark, threatening clouds.
A little everything.
Here's Gorkis Hernandez. This season with Indianapolis, 275, 5 homers, 28 runs batted in. Appeared with the Pirates in 2012, batted .083 in 25 games. Also in 2012, he had 45 games with the Marlins. That's really been his last big league time. He was with the Bucks and Marlins in 2012. Last year with 3 different organizations. Also been with Detroit, Kansas City.
A good defensive outfielder, but he's never shown much of a stick, at least at the big league level.
In the White Sox organization for a bit.
An opportunity here to hopefully get off to a fast start. But there is not much doubt that he can handle things in the outfield.
1 ball, 2 strike pitch away. So the moves today, with Hernandez coming up, Jose Tabata being designated for assignment. Steve Lombardozzi recalled. Chris Volstad also sent out. Lombardozzi gives the Pirates a left-handed option off the bench. And a ground ball to the right side. Jace Peterson tackles it. Throw to first. Just in time. A bang-bang play. And it goes to the Braves. And nothing across for the Pirates in the second inning. 1 hit. As Clint Hurdle is looking into the dugout. And Hernandez is going to be out, and we are through the second inning of play. We will head to the third, scoreless at PNC Park. It's baseball. Charlie Hayes explains why the Buccos are a perfect fit for his son. Chris Peters finds himself in the right place at the right time when his former team needed a little help. And there's much more to come on Inside Pirates Baseball. Presented by Allegheny Health Network today after postgame on Root Sports. No score, top of the third inning. And the top of the order up for Atlanta, Jace Peterson. That's strike one to him. Peterson grounded out to Mercer at short in the first inning. 0 for 1. Peterson had 2 hits in the game yesterday, including 3 RBIs. Those have been his only hits in the series. He went 0 for 4 in game 1. Nothing in 2 pitch. Ground ball to second. There's Harrison. 1 out. Well, we were talking about Jeff's changeup a little earlier. Point Park University tweet mentioned that Locke throws a circle change. How is that different than a typical change grip?
Well, it's not, because really the circle change is the typical change that everybody throws, but the main thing about a changeup is that you have your 2 fingers that are the strongest on your hand. If you take away your thumb, and that's your pointy finger and your middle finger, right?
Right.
So any changeup grip, all you're trying to do is get one or both those fingers off the back of the ball. Now there, see, he's taking his pointer off the back of the baseball as he throws it with that circle change grip. So now, no matter how hard you try and throw the ball, you can't throw it hard. Now here's your 2 power fingers. They're behind the ball for the typical fastball. You're going to push the ball forward. If you make a circle change, you take that finger off. You take your pointer finger off the ball, and now you're pushing it with these 2 fingers. You can't throw it as hard with these 2 fingers. So any of the grips, you're taking one or both of those off the back of the ball. The circle change, which is the most popular, they call it because you kind of make an OK sign with your thumb and your index finger. You see he's throwing a curveball there. His ball's going to come up, out, over the top of his fingers, and then with that overspin, so it goes down. But now there's other ways to do this. Randy Tallman used to throw what he called the Vulcan change because he jammed it in between these fingers here. There are different ways. Some guys will throw a changeup like that.
It's a little different.
Yeah, this is. This changeup has a tendency to be very straight. It won't really go one way or other. An easy pitch to throw for a strike, but because you're taking the middle finger off the back of the baseball, again, you can't throw it as hard. But see how this, you're bending the middle finger in underneath the ball, so you're releasing it with these 2. Well, you can't throw the ball very hard like that. So that's all a changeup grip is a way to take velocity off the ball without slowing anything else down. You're still trying to throw the ball just as hard, but you can't because you don't have your middle finger and your index finger pushing the ball forward together. One of those, or both of them, as would happen in a splitter, are off the back of the baseball. So it just cannot be propelled forward. And the circle change is the most popular because it's an easy grip to get. It's an easy pitch to control. And now you're pushing the ball forward with these 2 fingers, your ring finger and your middle finger, instead of these 2. That's the only difference.
Markakis at the plate. A little surprise shower popped up.
And one last thing, this is why you call it the circle change, because you're making the circle over here with your thumb and your index finger as you're throwing it with these. Or yeah, some people call it OK change.
Okay, Bob.
Yeah.
And Markakis down on strikes.
They're all change-ups, though. Yeah. That was a good one right there.
Well, 1, 2, 3, go the Braves. Staying the night, ask about our special offer for Pirates fans at the Residence Inn in Spring Hill Suites North Shore. Located directly across the street from PNC Park. Use the promo code 2PF when booking your room. When you check in, you'll get a ticket voucher good for savings of up to $10 off any Sunday through Thursday Pirates home game. Jeff Locke takes a strike, his first plate appearance today. Wood working quickly to him. That's outside. Jeff with 2 hits on the season, one of them a double. Take a strike there, and it's 1-2. 0.95 the average. Puts this one down on the ground to third base. Siriaco up with it. Throws him out. One gone for the Pirates in their half of the third. Back to the top of the order with Josh Harrison. Harrison 0 for 1.
Second baseman, Josh Harrison.
Josh flied to center field in the first inning. Well, second time now through the order beginning for the Pirates against Alex Wood. Wood surrendered a season-high 10 hits against the Nationals on Tuesday. Even though he's had some pretty good outings. He's gone 7 innings 4 times in the last 7 starts. He has been hit a little bit lately.
Jay, I didn't notice his first time up. Got the Oakland A look. Little shoes.
Yeah, white shoes. It's a different look for him. Yeah, strike is called. 2-1. Jay with the High Sox on a High Sox Sunday. Throwback uniforms from the 70s. This one down the right field side. It's a long run for Markakis, and he won't get it, but it's a foul ball. Alex Wood has not beaten the Pirates. This is his 5th start against Pittsburgh. In his prior 4 starts, he's 0-2. Two to Harrison. Fouled it straight back. He'll get another one. Two-ball, 2-strike offering on the way. Josh knocks it foul into the upper deck on the first base side. Well, Jay Hayes going well. He certainly helps this ball club. He'd love to set the table here with 1 out. And the 2-2 chased for strike 3.
Pretty good bite for that breaking ball coming down and in. Exactly what you're trying to do when you throw that breaking ball toward that back foot. Swing over the top of it.
Jung Ho was hit by a pitch first time. Ended up coming in for McCutchen yesterday in the first inning. McCutchen was hit by a pitch. Took his spot in the batting order third. And ended up going 0 for 4 yesterday. He's done well here at PNC Park. He has a .323 average at home. Up and in, 2-1. Jung Ho is 0 for his last 6. 2 balls, 2 strikes. We will see a lot of lefties. Certainly, we have noticed that he is in the lineup whenever the lefties are out there. And strikes out. 2 strikeouts in the inning. Pirates gone in order, and Alex Wood has 4 strikeouts in the game.
Point Park University tweet, and it is a photo from the Twitter account of Scott Bonnet, the head equipment manager of the Pittsburgh Pirates, and that is Starling Marte's uniform from yesterday, a uniform that Bones, who we refer to him as, said was the dirtiest uniform he's ever had to deal with in all his time. And guess what? He will be our guest in 2 days on Twitter Tuesday, live from Detroit, Comerica Park. Any question you have for Scott Bonnet, use the hashtag Bucks Tuesday and send it. Any question about anything you might have behind the scenes. This is the man responsible for packing up the entire organization, getting him out of Pittsburgh today, getting into Detroit, getting the clubhouse unloaded and set up ready for 3 games, and then unpacked and back. He does it all the time. He might be the busiest man in the entire organization, Scott Bonnet. So send in your questions, anything you want to know behind the scenes, authentication, any of that stuff. Bucks Tuesday, and he'll answer it.
Well, that's good, Robbie. I'm looking forward to that because he's got some interesting things that he has to do. Things that I think fans never think about. Not even a thought, but Bones takes care of everything. He's one of the best.
Probably going to get a few laundry questions, huh?
After that picture, yeah. This one driven to left field by Chris Johnson. Marte will gather it in. Johnson, big turnaround first base, but the ball back into the glove of Jay Hayes. So that's the first base hit given up by Jeff Locke, and it comes in the 4th inning. Yeah, Marte was a mess yesterday.
Both sides. I've never seen anybody get their name dirty. You know, on the back. I mean, how do you do that? It was filthy.
Yeah, you're not sliding on your upper shoulders.
Not on your back. Not very often, but it was dirty.
He was Pigpen yesterday. A.J. Przinsky 0 for 1, a strikeout victim to lead off the 2nd inning. 1 on, nobody out. Ball and 1 strike. .62 pitches for Jeff. We're here in the 4th. Chris Johnson has 1 stolen base. He's been caught once. Not a big running threat. Brzezinski at the plate, awaiting the next offering from Locke. Brzezinski's got an interesting distinction. He's homered in 31 different major league ballparks. And there are 3 parts in which he's never hit a home run. Nationals Park in D.C., Citi Field in New York, and Dodger Stadium. With foul, but he's homered in more parts than there are teams. Talk about starting Marte and why his uniform was so dirty. This is part of the reason. Whoop, whoop, bang.
Stuck in the mud.
It looked painful at first.
Didn't know it was a foul ball, so he kept his hand on the bat.
Oh, a slow roller to the left side. And that'll be a base hit. Away from the shift, and Przinsky can't believe it. He'll take it. 2 hits to start the 4th, and now the Braves first and second, nobody out.
One of those changeups that we're talking about. Przinsky was actually a little too quick on it, and it just cued off the end of the bat. Lucky hit. There'll be line drive outs, and there'll be hits like that.
Pedro Siriaco, also a strikeout victim, up for the second time. He looks the bunt. Braves will try to move 2 men up. 2 men in scoring position. And nobody out right here. Siriaco can handle the bat a little bit. Puts the bunt down toward third. Nobody covering third. Just only played at first, and he just got him. Siriaco running hard down the line. So sacrifice bunt for Siriaco, and now Johnson at third. Przinsky at second.
They have a speed like Siriaco. I think they're going to look at that. That view looked awfully close. No, they're not going to review it. When you have speed like Siriaco, anytime you lay down a bunt, you might be able to turn it into a hit. Wow, that was just inches.
Jeff had to put something on that throw, too. He knew that Siriaco was running hard. Here's Johnny Gomes. Gomes hits a ground ball to third. Gunn coming to the plate. And they've got Johnson. 2 men out. Good throw by Jung Ho, right on target.
Right on the money.
So 2 men out for Andrelton Simmons. Runners at the corners. Simmons walked in the second. Simmons is 1 for 12 against Locke in his career. Hitting 083 against him. 271 this year. That's an entire batting average. And a strike call, and it's 0-2. Simmons had thoughts that pitch was inside with the way that he raised his hands up. But Locke gets ahead of him, 0-2. Przinsky over at third base. Gomes at first. And a ground ball toward short, backhanded by Mercer. Jump throw, they got him. Still scoreless through 3.5 innings. Hitting this one to Mercer's right, and the leaping throw and a little stretch by Harrison. Allegheny Health Network Supermo slowing it down for us.
Looks like Gomes gets a little stuck in the mud. We were talking about that earlier. Just can't slide. Yeah, he didn't get his hands out in front of him and literally went in head first.
Andrew McCutcheon will lead off the Pirates half of the fourth inning. Cut his nose, too.
Yeah.
Well, that's a tough track down there.
You know, I think when it's slow like this and there's a lot of basically dirt on the infield, you got to start going feet first.
That's a painful slide for Gomes. Last time, he's still wiping the blood off of his nose. You can see some on his shirt.
That's definitely going head first.
Two-one is hit high in the air to left center field. Cameron Maben calling for it. And that is the second fly ball out deep for McCutcheon in this game. So one man is out. Kutch 0 for 2. Marte, the left fielder, will step into the batter's box next. McCutcheon seems to go up there with intentions, and he's hit 2 deep fly balls. He's just missed a couple.
Yeah, he's taking some rips. But, you know, heck, he always takes rips. You know?
Strike one to Marte.
You don't see Kutch this kind of feeling for the baseball. Or
he's not a punch and Judy hitter.
With one of those just get it put in play type swings. He goes up there and takes full hard cuts all the time.
Comes the 0-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Marte. Starling's done well against the Braves. He's hit safely in 10 of his last dozen games against Atlanta. Here, a strikeout, drop third strike, but he will be out at first base. Let's go back to our Root Sports studios. Paul Alexander there with his State Farm game break. Thank you, Paul. A lot of baseball to be played in Philadelphia today. Pitch outside to Cervelli. Cervelli's got a real good chance to make the All-Star team. You can help him. Pirates.com/vote. Okay, last check, he was 3rd among National League catchers. Two balls and no strikes. Had another good game offensively yesterday. 2 RBIs, 2 for 4, had a single and a double, and he scored twice. Here today, he's 0 for 1, grounded out to 3rd in the 2nd inning. Now, to give you an idea of the kind of season he's having offensively, he's got 13 extra base hits this year. Last year with the Yankees, he had 14 in the entire season. He's having a career year, and he hopes it continues. Strike 3 call. And the Pirates gone in order for the 2nd straight inning. Strikeout number 5 for Wood. And there's no score after 4.
Battle on Root Sports is brought to you by Allegheny Health Network. Health for all. By Kenny Ross, Ask a Neighbor. And by Levin Mattress, located in all Levin Furniture showrooms and freestanding stores. Let's go Bucks!
No score this Sunday afternoon Kids Day at PNC Park. Final game of this homestand and final game of this 3-game set. Bucks looking for a sweep over the Braves. Looking for some runs here, but Jeff Locke will face the number 9 hitter, the pitcher Alex Wood, to start things off. And he deals him ball 1. So Wood grounded out, trying to bunt with 2 outs and 2 men on base in the second inning. Strike is called, 1-1.
Yeah, normally I would probably say that's not what you want to do, but since he's a pitcher, you got to cut him a little slack. He thought that was the best way for him to get on base, so be it. Running with 2 outs, usually a no-no for the vast majority of the situations you'll find yourself in.
Two and 2 to Alex Wood. And Locke strikes him out. Strikeout number 5 for Jeff. There is 1 down. Follow the Pirates wherever you are with MLB.com At Bat, the #1 app for live baseball. At Bat is up to the moment at any moment with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcasts, StatCast, and more. Get MLB.com At Bat for your smartphone or tablet. Top of the order, Jace Peterson takes a curveball for a strike. 0 for 2 this afternoon. A couple of ground outs, 1 to short, 1 to second. This one's fouled out of play. 0-2.
New fresh piece of wood.
Peterson was acquired in a trade. Last December. With the Padres.
The big Padre trade.
Yep. Just an Upton deal. Peterson had 27 games in the big leagues last year with the Padres. Made his big league debut. Pops this one up to center. 2 out. Jeff Locke retires the first 2 men. Now he'll face another former Padre, Cameron Maybin.
Jeff a little shaky with that control the first couple of innings. Found himself a nice groove now with that fastball.
He walked one of the first 2 back-to-back with 2 outs after striking out 2 in the second inning.
Been able to hit his spots with it in all counts lately. And that's a nice pitch there. You drop that hook in when you have first pitch just to get ahead with. And that's the pitch too. I think that he could throw like on 3-1-2-0 counts. The same exact pitch he just threw to start the at bat off. Instead of trying to just pick a spot with that fastball.
Fastball up and in to Maybin.
I think really the pitch for him so far this game has been the changeup. He's getting a lot of swings and misses on that hook.
It seems like when he's going better, the game is going better for him. He's starting to pace himself a little bit. He works quicker, works more with a purpose. Sometimes when he gets in a little trouble, takes his time a little more on the mound.
I think that's kind of normal, and that's should be by design. You work fast, so when things start to go wrong, you can back away a little bit, slow down, think. Don't let it get away from you before you even know what's going on. Good changeup. Did not get a swing and a miss on it though. But that's what he's been getting those chases on, is that changeup.
2-2, and that's into left field, a base hit. A 3/4 swing for Maben.
A bad swing on a changeup. Kind of got lucky with the placement of that ball, but it was not a good swing, and nobody is really taking good swings on that pitch. He was really fooled by it. Almost was going to almost stop his bat there, trying to make contact. Lucky enough to find the hole.
2 down, runner at first for Markakis. Markakis is 0 for 2. Fielder's choice in the first inning. And a strikeout swinging in the third. Maben is a threat to run. He has 13 steals. In the throw. Maben back. Good look in from the north side notch. Walks pitch to Markakis. Pounded foul. Strike one. Bucks will have a day off tomorrow. It'll be a charity golf tournament and a flight into Detroit. Start a series with the Tigers Tuesday. Just a brief 3-game road trip in Detroit. Pirates before the All-Star break playing 16 of 19 games at home. And Maben taking off for second. Cervelli's throw not in time. So the ball popping out of the glove. And Maben reading it in the dirt. He took off.
Went head first, hit a dry spot because he was able to actually slide.
Pass ball charged to Francisco Cervelli. 1-1 the count to Markakis. 2 balls and a strike. And now the go-ahead runs in scoring position with 2 down. Pitch is hit into right field, past it diving Rodriguez. Maben will score, and that pass ball is very costly. It's 1-0 Atlanta.
You know, a ball that's hit through the infield, but at the same time it was hit rather sharply, so you can't say too much that it was a kind of a lucky hit, because he hit it hard.
Well, the Braves break the ice.
Jay Hay was playing deep on that too. You can see that that nice high shot. He was actually out on the outfield grass. He still couldn't get to it. That's how sharply it was hit.
Chris Johnson had the first hit off of Jeff Locke last inning. He's 1 for 2. Cody Mercer took a hit away from him in the first inning with a really nice play and a leaping throw to second base to get a force out. That ended the first inning. And this one to left field. So Johnson's got it going today for the Braves. Big turnaround second for Markakis. He'll hold there. 2 on and 2 out for Atlanta. 3 straight hits with 2 outs. Another visit from the Pirates pitching coach Ray Searage. So Deolis Guerra will be called upon. Made his major league debut yesterday. Ray buying a little time here so that Guerra can get up. Trying to figure out what's happening here with Jeff Locke. Started the inning very well with a strikeout of Wood, and then got Peterson to pop up to center.
Well, the Markakis hit was, he did what I've been hoping he would do, is throw some curveballs behind the count. Well, he did it. He threw a curveball. Wasn't in a bad spot. It was knee high. He got hit hard for a base hit. So I certainly can't find fault in that. And it's not like they're hitting balls off the wall or up through the gaps or anything right now. Just it's giving up some singles. 3 of them in a row.
Brzezinski hits one toward Rodriguez. It fooled him a little bit, but he recovered and makes the diving stop. And that does it for the top of the 5th. 1 run on 3 hits for Atlanta. Pirates coming to the plate. Take a look at the Nissan road ahead. This is the rest of the month and into July. Tomorrow, again, an off day, then 3 at Comerica Park. Justin Verlander will pitch against Garrett Cole Tuesday night. And then when the Pirates return home, they'll have a weekend interleague series with the Cleveland Indians. San Diego Padres will be in for 3, and then a huge series with the Cardinals. 4 straight leading into the All-Star break, and that's the opportunity the Pirates want head-to-head against St. Louis, who has been playing out of their mind baseball this year. First team to 50 wins. One and 2 to Jordy. National League Central Division standings. Pirates still 8 back, but in second place. They had cut it to 4 at one point. But it just doesn't matter. You shake your head when you look at what the Cardinals are doing this year.
But we did have it to 4.
Did have it to 4.
So it's our own fault that it's gone back to 8.
Correct. Mercer, another base hit up the middle. He's 2 for 2. Two for 2 for Jordy. Another multi-hit game.
Could have hit some hard balls back through the middle at the opposing pitcher's ankles, haven't we?
Well, you'd rather miss them. If you hit them, you never know where it's going to go. in game 1 that hit the pitcher. There goes Jordy, and the throw down is in tons of time.
I'm wondering if somebody missed a hit and run. I mean, it could have been a straight steal. I couldn't tell. Did Jordy look?
Looking for that very same thing. If he took a quick peek back.
Is he looking? Yeah, he's
looking right
yeah,
there.
He's looking.
Yeah.
That's a hit and run.
Yeah, hit and run got botched up.
No, but maybe it wasn't a hit and run. Maybe Jordy thought it was. We don't know who missed the sign. I'm just saying that Jordy, by looking over his shoulder as he's running toward second base, thought it was a hit and run.
One and two to Rodriguez. Two balls, two strikes. One out, base is empty. And Sean goes down swinging for the second time.
Went upstairs with him and chased after it.
Keith Hernandez. You see the delivery of Wood, Bobby. He takes that deliberate pause as he leans back there. And a ground ball to third. We'll talk more about that next inning as Hernandez is out. So we go to inning number 6. 1-0 Atlanta.
By the authority of the Pittsburgh Pirates and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Pierogi's going at it. Bacon Bird, Jalapeno Hanna, Sauerkraut Saul running third. And it's be a photo finish maybe or not? No. Hanna win, Burt place, Saul show, and Jeff Locke done for the day after 5 innings. 94 pitches for Locke, and leaves trailing 1-0. Deolis Guerra's second major league appearance.
Well, the first one certainly went well. Was out there for the end of the game. That's got to be a huge thrill from anybody coming into their first ever appearance in the big leagues and being on the hill right there at the end, having everybody come out, shake your hand.
They tried to bunt on him. Simmons had tried to bunt on him. The first guy he faced popped it up, and Guerra made the play. Cervelli gave him a big hug. Welcome him to the club. Pedro Siriaco leading off for Atlanta. He tries to bunt. And Gunn bare hands throws and safe at first is Siriaco.
Well, we saw the last time Siriaco laid the ball down, and it wasn't nearly as good a bunt as that. And Locke was barely able to throw him out. So as soon as that one went in the grass and was that close to the foul line, it was going to take something special to get the out.
Throw to first and Siriaco back. Barrel Automotive League leaders stat where the Pirates bullpen ranks in the National League in a number of categories, either second or first. ERA, opponent OPS, the whip, walks and hits per innings pitched, inherited runners, strikeouts to walks. Only 13.6% of inherited runners scoring, so bullpen best in that category in the National League.
That's a pretty darn good category to be best in, especially if you're one of our starters.
There's a ground ball to short. Mercer flips to Harrison for one. That's a double play. And erases the bunt single for Siriaco.
And twice now that Gomes has gotten up there in a situation where may have been better served to hit the ball the other way. Once with runners at second and third, and he has tried to pull the ball, rolled over on it, and put it on the ground.
It's our Chick-fil-A double play. Guerra's got to be happy about that. Now facing Simmons again. He faced him yesterday, retired him when he tried to bunt, popped it up. Guerra had to make an athletic play getting off the mound because it was bunted toward the third base side up in the air. He falls off, obviously being a right-hander, to the first base side, so he had to change direction real quick and run and get underneath it. Ball and one strike. Myrtle told me today he was very impressed with Guerra yesterday. Likes the reports he's been getting from AAA. Bouncer to third base, right on the line, and the throw, and they're saying it's a foul ball. He had a similar play the other night, 2 games ago, like this. It's right on the line. And is it over the line?
Yeah, it looked like it to me. Like it's definitely a foul ball. You can see where he catches the ball, where the ball is when he catches it. That's what the umpire is looking at, and looked like it was definitely in foul territory. And it's the home umpire's call because the ball hasn't got to third yet.
1-2. Two balls, 2 strikes. Guerra out of Venezuela, Bolivar of Venezuela. Originally, when he was 16 years old, signed by the Mets. He's 25 years of age. Came up with the Mets, ended up with the Twins organization, and well, was as high as AAA last year with Rochester. Big league debut yesterday. Full count to Simmons. 2 outs, base is empty. Braves up 1-0. Got a run on a Nick Markakis base hit with Cameron Maben at second base in the 5th. Maben came around to score. 3-2 to right center, and that is going to be cut off by Hernandez. Marcus Hernandez fires it back in. Second hit of the inning off of Dale Esguerra.
As we said before, Hernandez, a very good outfielder. He's able to actually get out to that ball so quickly, didn't even have to backhand it. He could turn around, face it, get in front of it.
Pitcher Alex Wood is up. Swing and a miss. Wood struck out swinging in the 5th. Tried to bunt his way on in the 2nd. Jeff Locke fielded it and threw him out. One ball and one strike to Alex Wood. Miss, 1-2. Garrett had his contract selected Friday from AAA Indianapolis. 2-1 in Indy with a 1.23 ERA in 25 appearances. And he strikes out Wood. No runs, 2 hits, 1 left. Through 5.5, 1-0 Braves. And the pitcher's spot due to lead off for the Pirates, and it will not be Dale Esguerra. Another player just called up today for the 2nd time this season. We'll get an opportunity to hit off the bench for the Pirates, Steve Lombardozzi. Lombardozzi, a switch hitter. Get a chance to bat right-handed in Indianapolis. .316 hitter. In the big leagues with the Orioles and Nationals. Alex Wood delivers his first pitch in for a strike. Pirates need a base runner. They need a run or two here. Game's starting to age some.
Yeah, I agree. And, you know, one thing too that it really kind of sets in on how good Wood is going right now is we're not really making him work real hard either. Pitch count wise.
There's a high chopper, and Wood throws, and he got him.
And he's in the 6th inning, and I think that's just 68 pitches, I believe. Yep, there it is up there on the score bug. It's 68 pitches, so we're going to start putting a little pressure on him.
And he's only 2 batters over the minimum. He's faced 4 batters in the first, 4 batters in the second, 3 in the third, fourth, and fifth. Josh Harrison is 0 for 2. Strikeout victim in the third inning, and in his first at bat in the first, he flied to center. Jay Hay up in the air to right center field. Markakis wants it. Jay Hay's 0 for 3, and there are 2 quick outs in the 6th. You're right, Bob. You know, they're just not making Alex Wood work all that hard.
The pitch count reflects it. And to his credit, he's being pretty efficient as far as attacking the strike zone, staying away from deep counts, base on balls, and using the theory that try to make something happen in those first 3 pitches. That's what the Pirate pitcher coach Ray Series. That's what Ray always preaches. Trying to get that guy to put the ball in play early.
Strike called to Jung Ho. Jung Ho to right field, and it's right at Markakis. And for the 4th straight inning, the Pirates have only sent 3 men to the plate against left-hander Alex Wood.
Well, we're in the 7th inning of a cloudy skies and a few raindrops today. Not enough to hold up the game, but it was a pretty crazy day in terms of the weather yesterday, which meant it was even a crazier day for the grounds crew. Manny Lopez, Derek, and Matt, and the rest of his gang. They actually ended up dumping 2 tons of diamond dust on the game yesterday, or on the field yesterday during the game, between the rain delays and even when they kept the game going when the rains were coming down. And get this, after the game, they ended up filling up a whole dump truck full of diamond dust. They let it dry out. Then this morning they took it over to a local school and donated it. And get this, the guys came in about 6:30 this morning, Tim and Bob, and replaced it with all dry clay, so the field was playable today. So they stayed about an hour and a half later than they normally did after the game last night. Came in about an hour earlier today than they normally do to get this field in playable condition. So a lot of kudos go out to Manny Lopez and his gang and the grounds crew for a great job.
Yeah, they've been busy this week for sure.
Yeah, they do a great job.
Great job.
Day after day after day. Even when the weather is nice out, you look at the way this field looks, it is always spectacular.
Vance Worley takes over, 3rd pitcher used by the Pirates. It's a 1-0 Atlanta lead. And Jace Peterson hits one deep to right field. Hernandez watches it go, and that is home run number 3 on the season for Peterson. And it's 2-0 Braves.
Like the down curveball that he was able to wait on, put a good swing on. Yep, curveball looked like it's at the knees. But Peterson able to get it out of here. Looks like they got a good young player. What are you thinking, Peterson?
Yeah, he's taken over not only the.
Turned out to be a nice trade for him.
Yeah, he's taken over the second base duties, the leadoff spot now.
I mean, obviously the Braves are in a rebuilding mode. You look at the trades that they made in the offseason. Want to try to get younger. Are they going to go into a new stadium two more seasons? Or?
I think one more after this one. It'd be at Turner Field one more season, and then SunTrust.
They'll go in there in 2017. So they're going to be looking. I think they're thinking about trying to have a very good team for that inaugural season in the new park.
Mercer throws out Maven. One gone in the Braves' seventh. They'll have a new baseball stadium and a new football stadium in Atlanta in 2017. Markakis takes high and away. Ball and no strikes to Markakis. One down, base is empty. One run in on the home run by Peterson. 1-1 the count. Misses outside.
We have an odd spot in the bullpen that Worley has out there. Been a few times in my career where I was in that same position. Kind of the longer guy in the bullpen, and you can go literally a couple weeks if the starters get on a roll where you do nothing. You just sit out there day after day after day. Your name never gets called, and then all of a sudden you're out there back-to-back days. You're throwing maybe 6 innings in a 2-day period. There's work all over the place for you. It's so hard to stay sharp, but then all of a sudden you feel like maybe you're overworked.
Did you say it's hard to do?
One of the
more unique spots out there.
Well, it's just it's one of the tougher spots to actually pitch out of. Sometimes people say, "Oh, it's a long man's job." You're not really in high pressure type situations. Well, physically, it can be the toughest.
Three ball, 2-strike pitch. Walked him. Markakis is aboard. 1 on and 1 out in the Braves' half of the 7th inning. Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in today's game, brought to you by Miller Lite.
I've seen scenarios where guys have sat out there for gotten so much rest that they'll have like a simulated game in the afternoon so they can get some hitters against some live batters. And then the starter will get knocked out in the third, and then you after throwing 2 innings in a simulated game, you got to come into the real game that evening. I've actually seen that happen.
Can't be easy.
That's why that's one of the tougher spots. And I think now with the bigger bullpens, there's not 5 or 6 guys down in there anymore. It's 7. There's even more of a chance that you might get a long stretch without getting in a game.
Nothing in 2 to Chris Johnson, the first baseman. And he struck him out. 2 men out. Vance gets his first strikeout this afternoon. Two down, and Worley will face Brzezinski. Vance got to answer questions earlier this week from a bunch of kids in the South Hills, little leaguers, softball players over at Dick's Sporting Goods, South Hills Village, and was out there with him, and he had a good question asked to him. He said, well, one young man said, "You used to be a starter. Why are you now a reliever?"
Well, how do you answer that?
He said, "Well, there's only 5 men in the rotation, and I'm number 6. There's a ground ball hit to J-Head. And that'll take care of that. So 1 run on the home run for Jace Peterson. We are at stretch time. And after 6.5, the Braves with a 2-0 lead. We'll keep you here on this Sunday afternoon at PNC Park.
Ladies and gentlemen, we invite you now to stand as we offer support to our troops here and abroad. Today, the Pirates and Sports Clips are proud to salute Pittsburgh native Sergeant James Nicholson, a member of the United States Army for almost 15 years. After injuries sustained in combat while in Iraq, Sergeant Nicholson had part of his left leg amputated. However, that hasn't prevented him from biking in the Marine Corps Marathon, running multiple 5K races, and helping local organizations like Operation Troop Appreciation here in Pittsburgh. We are thrilled to have Sergeant Nicholson home with us today. And now here to lead us with God Bless America is the women's quartet of the Concert Choir of Elk County.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountain to the prairie, to the ocean white with foam. God bless America, my home sweet home. God bless America, my home sweet
Fans, it's time for the 7th inning stretch. We invite you to follow the bouncing Eaton Park Smiley Cookie and join everyone watching at home on Root Sports as we sing Take Me Out to the Ball Game.
It's a solo home run in the 7th off Vance Worley by Jace Peterson, the second baseman. His 3rd homer of the year has given the Braves a 2-0 edge. Pirates need to try to put some pressure on left-hander Alex Wood, who has been cruising through his afternoon so far. Just 2 over the minimum through 6. McCutchen has flied out deep twice, and he starts the inning with a hit to left center field. He's going to stop at first base. Maben gets it in. And a leadoff single for McCutchen. He's 1 for 3.
Got a pitch down over the outside half of the plate. Just ripped it back through the middle.
Pirates with a man on have the tying run at the plate. See what Starling Marte can do. He's 0 for 2. Gone down swinging twice. Marte to left field. He's got a base hit. And now the tying run aboard.
Well, he's throwing a lot of first pitch strikes this inning, but they're getting turned around. That first pitch, a strike to McCutchen, comes back, goes right after Marte, throws it down at the knees, and whacked in the left. Well, he's staying aggressive, but Pirates able to get a couple of knocks.
Good speed on the base paths, and Cervelli at the plate now with nobody out. And now this crowd, who has been subdued for most of the afternoon, has woken up. Cervelli a bunt, and Wood throws him out.
Wow, looked like he had a hard time getting a hold of that ball. Thought for a moment he wasn't going to be able to throw it. Yeah, there was a little bit of a bobble. Not enough of one, though. Pretty darn good bunt. Well, Mercer's been hot. He's coming to the plate. Tying runs out of second base.
2 for 2 today. 2 singles up the middle. Roger McDowell out to visit with his pitcher. Our T-Mobile game changer has been Jordy Mercer. How about this stab? That was off of Chris Johnson, and then a base hit up the middle. And Jordy with a great play here, a jump throw, and they get the force out. Gomes at second base, and another single for Jordy Mercer.
You know, if you had to hit the ball straight over the rubber to be a fair ball, he'd still be 2 for 2. Notice that? Both his hits, whoop, right back straight over the rubber.
Right over.
Do it again.
Pirates threatening.
Looks like Peterson's going to play him up the middle this time.
There's room on the right of the infield for Jordy. Tony Watson for the Pirates and David Aardsma for the Braves warming up. Two 2-0 the count. See if Jordy gets when he can drive here. There's a gap in left center. Maben shading him to right center field. Now to Mercer. See what Maben is. He and Markakis have closed that right center gap.
Look where Peterson is, the second baseman. That's literally an adjustment that they've made. He's right there to take away that center of the infield where Mercer's first two hits have gone. Two balls and two strikes. A little over anxious. Paced upstairs on that fastball.
McCutchen at third, Marte at second, one man out. Pirates with their first legitimate threat in the ballgame. And Mercer fouls this one off. Hasn't been a lot of pressure on Wood. Pirates had a base runner in the first, a base runner in the second. Mercer got aboard in the fifth and then was caught stealing. Somebody perhaps missing a sign there. And that's been it before McCutchen had a leadoff single and Marte a first pitch single to follow McCutchen. Two ball, two strike count to the shortstop Mercer. Strike three call. And Jordy conversing with the umpire James Hoy about it.
It might have been just, one of those too close to take type spots. According to the UPMC strike zone, it was right there on the inside corner. So Mercer upset at that call, frustrated that it was a called strike.
Sean Rodriguez has struck out twice.
Yeah, great situation here to forget about those two strikeouts if he can get a clutch 2-out single. Tie this game up.
Again, the Braves outfield cutting off right center, leaving a huge gap in left center field. One ball, one strike. Ball and a strike to Sean Rodriguez. Two and one. These two guys have hits. Rodriguez trying to get at least one of them in. Braves up 2-0 in the bottom of the seventh. Wood's been very economical with his pitches, just 85 to this point. Braves have lost 5 straight road games, and Pirates have to come back in this one to make it 6. That's up 3-1. Two on, two out. 3 balls, 1 strike. The count is full at 3-2.
Good pitch to hit. He's had a couple of them today. Sean just swinging through some fastballs. But as I said, they're just one hit away from none of that mattering. Just get that tying run home.
Payoff is popped up to Jace Peterson, the second baseman, and the Pirates will leave 2. Strand the tying run at second base. And we'll go to the 8th. Braves 2, Pirates nothing. upheaval. July 9th, stage AE in the Allegheny Health Network Super Mall, showing us some of the pages of this story this afternoon. 2-0 Braves. Pedro Siriaco will lead off the top of the 8th inning, facing Vance Worley. Along with Bob Walk, I'm Tim Neverett. Robbie and Smikowski here too. Final game of this 3-game set. Pirates still within striking distance, but Alex Wood has been giving them problems today. Siriaco a comebacker. 1 pitch and 1 out.
Well, you have to admit that Wood finally got under a little bit of a pressure type situation, and he was able to rise to the occasion and strike out in a pop fly. Pitching a darn good ball game right now. 4-hit shutout.
Left fielder Johnny Gomes the batter. Johnny had a cut open on his nose earlier in the ball game when he tried to slide into second base in the 4th inning. Was forced out and hit a muddy part, I guess. Trying to do a head first slide. The track slowed him down too much and his nose hit the ground. He was bleeding. Grounds out to Mercer. 2 quick ground ball outs. 2 outs for the Braves in the 8th. Kick off your holiday weekend at PNC Park when the Bucks battle the Indians Friday at 7:05. First 20,000 fans receive a free Pirates t-shirt. Compliments of Root Sports. The festivities begin on Federal Street with the Barrel Automotive Block Party featuring live entertainment, food, and more. You can stop by the Line and Kugel Bar too. Tickets pirates.com/free shirt Friday. Indians coming to town. Andrelton Simmons takes a strike. Back-to-back American League Series coming up. One of them will use the DH starting Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Thursday afternoon in Detroit. Back here Friday, Saturday, Sunday against the Cleveland Indians. Their pitchers will have to hit. Inside, 2-1. Two outs. Base is empty. Animal rattles the glove. Now the pitch. Down low. Three-one delivery. And a ground ball to the right side. Jay Hayes there. 3 ground ball outs. Nice tidy inning for Vance Worley. Took him just 8 pitches to retire the side. Marcus Hernandez leading off. 2-0. 2 runs on 8 hits for the Braves. No runs on just 4 hits for the Pirates. Great crowd on this Sunday afternoon. 36,082. And those are the 2 and the 82 right there. And that's one right there, the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Mike Tomlin, big Pirates fan. Here pretty often. Rockies Hernandez bunts. And did it hit him? Out of the box. Looks like John Hirschbeck, the crew chief, is going to confer with James Hoy, the home plate umpire.
It hit him. The question is, where did it hit him?
Is he in or out of the batter's box when it hits him? He's out.
He's going to be out.
Because it hit him out of the box.
It almost looked like in that shot, it almost looked like he slapped the ball, like trying to get it away, get it out there further.
Yuri Perez takes over in left field for Johnny Gomes. Neil Walker will pinch hit in the pitcher's spot, batting right-handed. Strike 1 to Neil. 254 his average as a right-handed hitter, 167. Neil was 6 for 36 right-handed, 57 for 212 lefty. Up in the air, fouling on a play. Neil's last home run came against these Braves down in Atlanta earlier this month. Hit it off Williams Perez. Friday night started. Two balls and 2 strikes. Pedro Alvarez with the bat in his hand. Still in the dugout. 2-2. Walker lifts this one down the left field line. Will it stay fair? It's off the wall. And Neil on his way to second base. The throw, he slides, he's safe. Just barely missed a home run. Did not miss it by much. Down in that short corner in left field.
Yeah, really gets shallow there as the fence angles in toward that foul pole. So anything hit decent, it's got a shot. About maybe a foot from the top of the wall.
He went down after it too. And that is going to chase Alex Wood out of the ball game. Tell you about the new Atlanta pitcher when we come back. Braves up 2-0, bottom of the 8th, and right-hander Jim Johnson will take over for the lefty Alex Ward, who goes 7 1/3.
Johnson, this is the second time he's pitched in this series. A couple innings. It's a Friday night.
Friday night. 2 innings. Gave up a couple of hits. Now facing the top of the Pirates order, and Josh Harrison is 0 for 3. Highest ERA for a bullpen in the National League belongs to the Rockies. Second highest, Atlanta. 432. Pirates need to take advantage now of this Atlanta bullpen.
Rockies pretty much take charge of those kind of stats year after year, don't they?
Yeah, the altitude has a lot to do with it. A lot of grass in that outfield, too. For the balls to land in. And Harrison down on strikes. Ball way low and inside.
Definitely see that.
Well, we'll see if Pedro can come up with a game-changing swing. Alvarez off the bench to pinch hit. Walker just missed a home run. He's at second base. And Jim Johnson with 2 outs to face Pedro Alvarez. Pedro's only faced Johnson 1 time before and was 0 for 1 against him. One ball, no strikes to Alvarez. And the first base open, obviously it's not even a consideration because Alvarez is the tying run. And McCutcheon's on deck. Johnson looks back at Walker. There on the pitch. 1-1. 114 career home runs for Pedro. It ties him with Bobby Bonilla for 16th on the club's all-time home run list. One from Johnson to Pedro Alvarez. Popped him up. High fly ball. And Perez and Maben converge. Maben makes the catch, and the Pirates leave another man in scoring position. Pedro realized he just missed it. We go to the 9th inning. Tigers catch all of the action starting Tuesday at 6:30 with Pirates pregame presented by W.B. Mason on Root Sports. Josh Harrison has moved to third base with Jung Ho Gung lifted for the pinch hitter Alvarez. And Neil Walker remains in the game, goes to second base. And on the hill, a new pitcher for the Pirates, Jared Hughes.
Jared's been one of those reasons that the inherited runner numbers is so good this year. Of course, right now he's not going to inherit anybody. He's starting the inning, but that really, since he's been in the big leagues, been one of his specialties, going in and getting those ground balls early. But that really is, I think, something you can be proud of as a bullpen when you're best in the league at stopping those inherited runners from scoring.
Jared would like to get some ground ball outs here quickly, get the Pirates to the bat rack in the bottom of the ninth, facing pinch hitter Kelly Johnson. Delivers ball one. .265 on the season for Kelly Johnson. 6 home runs. He will take a strike. It's 1-1. In the air to left field, drifting back Marte. It's headed for the corner. Marte will make the catch.
Look at Marte turning his back to the infield and running to the spot. He knows the ball is going to come down. There he is. He knows where that ball is going to land. So now he can run or look back up and make the catch.
Jace Peterson homered his last time up off of Vance Worley in the 7th to make it a 2-0 ball game. He goes to left field toward the corner. Marte will again make the catch.
They're getting those ground balls.
They're playing him toward the line anyway, but able to make this catch right along the chalk. Yeah, what about those ground balls?
Well, it doesn't matter. Get outfielders as fast as Marte. Give up some flyouts. Haven't been many outs made in the air for the Braves this afternoon. There was only one fly out in the first 5 innings. So with Locke out there, he got almost all of his outs on the ground.
May have been a bouncer. There's your ground ball.
Go hit.
So a 7-pitch inning for Jared Hughes. Pirates will go to bat in the bottom of the 9th against Jason Grilli. Bottom of the ninth, last chance for the Pirates. They trail the Braves 2-0. They'll have to face former teammate and old friend Jason Grilli. Now working for the Atlanta Braves. Grilli took the loss on Friday night. Pirates beat him in the 10th inning. And that 10th inning on Friday, the first man he faced was Andrew McCutchen, who doubled off of him and came in with a game's winning run. And Andrew McCutchen will lead off against him again. McCutchen, Marte, and Cervelli in the bottom of the ninth inning.
I got an elevated fastball. It was actually at the very top of the strike zone, almost a ball. I tomahawked it down into that corner. See if Grilli tries to go by him again upstairs. Now it looks like he's going to start him off with a breaking ball this time. Yep. For a ball. Now Grilli does have 9 walks in 27 innings. So, and we need a base runner. We're down by 2. Fetch might want to show a little patience, just see if he gets a strike. We'll go breaking ball again on him.
1-1. Fans on Friday greeted Grilli with a nice round of applause, just to remember what he did while he was here with the Pirates. Gotcha. Hits this one in the air to center.
The slider.
Megan makes the catch, 1 out. Cuts 1 for 4. Marte trying to get it going with 1 out. Had a base hit on the first pitch he saw in the 7th inning. Struck out in the first, struck out in the 4th. One and 0 to Marte. Really makes his home in Florida. Hopes to make his home here in Western PA. He's got a home here that he bought in the North Hills. Hasn't lived in it yet, but says he plans on it. And 1-1 to Marte. Close to the hands of Starling.
Might have kind of got into that one a little bit. That ball is really not that far inside. If you drew a straight line down from where that baseball is, it's probably only an inch or 2 off the plate in.
And a strike.
Players really don't give ground inside much as they did years and years ago. Huh? They hang right in there. Marte, instead of backing off on that up and in pitch, he was moving right into it.
Brzezinski trying to steal the strike there, yanking it back into the zone.
I think it was a strike. Looked like a pretty good pitch. Yes, it was.
Yeah. might have lost a strike there. Yeah, you're right. Full count now to Marte. 3-2 pitch from Jason Grilli. On the right field line, Markakis on the move. He won't get it. It's in the seats. We're in the bottom of the ninth with one man out, nobody on. Jason Grilli pitching to Starling Marte. The Pirates have won the first 2 games. Still hopeful they can come back. Do something in this one. They have been very, very quiet offensively today.
Really throwing pretty hard. That last fastball at 95. Just kind of went after him with it. Out over the plate, a little above the belt. Nothing but challenge here. I got a 2-run lead, so I can go right after you, and he did.
Three ball, 2-strike pitch again from Grilli. A little comebacker. This is going to make things tough now with 2 out. So, excuse me, swing on a 3-2 pitch results in a ground out.
Grilli took a chance there. 3-2 full count. Tying runs on deck. If he walks him, now the tying run comes to the plate, and he threw a slider out of the strike zone to see if he could get a chase. If that's a check swing, ball 4, maybe not such a smart pitch to throw, but the way it worked out, the check swing ended up hitting the baseball on a little roller. It could have easily been ball 4.
Cervelli is 0 for 2 with a sacrifice bunt. Pirates down to their final out. Mercer had the walk-off double Friday against Grilli. Cervelli gets on. He'd be in a position to tie it at best. Cervelli trying to get on base here against Grilli in the bottom of the ninth. Keep the game going. Oh, breaking ball. Throws him, and it's 0-2, and the Bucks down to the last strike. Last meeting with the Atlanta Braves this season. Pirates took 2 of 3 in Atlanta, and they've taken the first 2 here in Pittsburgh. 0-2 outside, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Yeah, that was the pitch that he threw on the 3-2 count to Marte that just got rolled out in front of the mound. Slider down and away.
Up high, 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes. Jason Grilli facing Francisco Cervelli. Here's the pitch. Fills up the count at 3-2. Yeah, tying runs on deck, Bob. Does it take a chance here? Try for a chase like you did with Marte? Or does he come right at him?
Well, Cervelli has a little bit better idea for the strike zone. He doesn't, not that he won't chase one, he may, but less likely for Cervelli to leave the strike zone to go after a pitch off the plate than Marte will.
He walked him. The tying run to the plate in the bottom of the ninth. Friday night, Jordy Mercer went to right field, hit it off the wall with the game on the line in the bottom of the 10th inning. His 3rd career walk-off hit. Scoring McCutchen into the 3-2 final. 2 for 3 today. Been hitting the ball well in this series. See what he can come up with now as the Bucks have just 1 out to go. So they're looking to extend the ball game. And Jordy hits it up in the air to left center field. Going after it is Maben, and they drop it. Around third is Cervelli, and into second is Mercer. It's 2-1. A collision between Yuri Perez and Cameron Maben, and the Braves outfielders can't come up with a baseball. And the Pirates still alive. Yuri Perez really shaken up.
Yeah, hit Maben, hit the wall. And not moving around too well. Now, Maben, we could see, was not calling the ball there at all. So, no reason for Perez not to try and make the catch. But did not see Maben make any attempt to say, "I got it."
Cervelli had to be coaxed into going home. He didn't see it. But, yeah, you could see neither of them calling for it, and then there's the collision.
Maben hit Perez's left shoulder pretty hard. That's what is hurting. But in the replays of both guys going toward the ball, neither one, it looked like to me, was yelling, "I got it." So that's when you're going to get that bad collision, when neither player has decided to take charge. But somebody needs to say, "I got it," so the other guy can peel off.
And Johnny Gomes had been out in left field. He was replaced by Yuri Perez. Perez is down.
If you don't know if you're going to catch it, then how do you say, "I got it"?
Yeah.
It's a tough situation for the outfielders to be in a ball that's just like that one there.
Perez up. Jeff Porter, a longtime athletic trainer for Atlanta, attending to him. If Perez cannot continue, the other option they would have would be Terdoslavich off the bench.
I see Perez. Oh no, it looks like Perez is calling it there. We didn't see it from that long, from that far back the first time. It looked like Perez was calling it. We only saw his last few steps before in the first replay. So I think he was saying, "I got it." Maybe not loud enough, apparently.
Well, Perez will come out of the ball game. But he Terdoslavich in.
In that last replay, we could see that he was calling the ball early. But with the crowd screaming, with that long fly ball, the game on the line, maybe he couldn't hear it. Maybe Maben couldn't hear it.
So a collision that keeps this game alive, with Braves unable to come up with that ball. Mercer gave it a ride right in front of the bullpen. Now Gregory Polanco will be called upon to pinch hit against Jason Grilli with the tying run in scoring position. Well, Polanco needs to come up with a clutch hit here and keep this game going. And while all this delay is going on and presumably getting close to coming to an end, Roger McDowell, the pitching coach, with a pinch hitter coming up, will go out and visit with Grilli. McDowell's delivered the message on how they want to pitch to Polanco, the left-handed hitter. Polanco will hit for Sean Rodriguez. Pirates down to their final out. And the tying run at second in a 2-1 ball game now.
There we go. Game on the line now. Just a single for the tie.
And a strike to Polanco. Polanco trying to get Mercer home. Really looking down as he customarily does, and then he'll look up and get his sign. The ball's and 2 strikes. Pretty good pitch by Grilly.
Yeah, he's come right at him with the first 2 fastballs right down the middle. Even though the tying runs at second, he's not changing his style right now. Being aggressive after that strike zone.
Grilly in the driver's seat, 0-2.
Now you would think 0-2 he'll try to be a little careful with his location.
Polanco stays alive. No balls, 2 strikes.
I think I could hear Grilly grunting a little bit out there right now. He's letting it fly best he can.
Jason Grilly against Gregory Polanco. 2 strikes. The count. Up high, 1-2.
That's where he wanted it.
One ball, 2 strikes. Grilly ready to deliver. Polanco stays alive.
You know, the last time I looked at Polanco's hot zones, I thought he was much better at hitting the ball in the top part of the strike zone than the bottom part, which is the reason that stuck in my mind is because that's the opposite of what most lefties are known for. Most lefties you think are low ball hitters, but right here, Grilly, the Braves, they're trying to go by him upstairs for sure. Everything they're throwing is up.
Two outs, bottom of the ninth. Mercer, the tying run at second. A 1-2. In the dirt. Evens the count at 2-2. Everything upstairs, and that time trying to get a chase in the dirt.
It's one of those right out at the edge of your seat ninth innings.
And the 2-2 pitch. Inside, and the count is full. Are your knuckles white yet?
No, I can't really squeeze anymore because of arthritis. So. Just kind of let them hang out here a little bit.
A full count to Polanco. He's expecting to see something to hit here. The payoff pitch. And he struck him. Brzezinski's got to throw it down. That's the ball game. As Grilly does get a chase. Polanco couldn't hold up his swing, and the Pirates leave the tying run at second base. They do take 2 out of 3. They've won 4 out of 6. They win the season series against the Atlanta Braves, but drop this one 2-1 here today.
It was almost like they kind of made their mind up there at the end. They weren't going to throw him a strike. Just put it down in that dirt, see if they could get the chase. And they did.
Alex Wood ends up with the win here today, going 7 1/3 for Atlanta. The Pirates are now 42-33. The Braves win their 36th game, 36-40. Braves head home. Pirates day off, and then they'll head out to Detroit for a 3-game series with the Tigers beginning Tuesday night. 2-1 the final. Braves win it. Let's go over to Paul Alexander in Kentucky.
All right, Tim and Bob, thank you very much. And we kind of set the tone in the pregame saying when these two teams face left-handed pitching, there's not going to be a lot of runs. We thought there might be a little more than the Pirates produced today.
Yeah, we were looking at a low-scoring game. We were looking at, every opportunity was going to be important, and that's kind of the way the game turned out today. The Pirates had a couple opportunities, weren't able to cash in. The Braves, didn't have very many opportunities at all. They weren't very good at all offensively, but they were able to get the long ball, and that was really the difference in this ball game, a 2-1 game.
Well, just like we promised during the course of the broadcast, it's Miller time. It's brought to you by Miller Lite. And our Miller Time player of the game, Alex Wood, he was really, really good. 7 1/3 innings, only allowed 5 hits, no runs, did not walk a batter, struck out 8. And how about this on the road? Alex Wood now 5-2 with a 2.43 ERA. He pitches very well away from home, and it was the Braves salvaging game 3 of this 3-game set, the final 2-1. Pirates tried to make a little noise in that 9th inning, did put a run across, but too little too late, as it is the Braves going away with 1 of 3, as the Pirates take a day off tomorrow, then a quick 3-game road trip to Detroit. Teak and I will break this one down straight ahead on Pirates Post Game. It's presented by the Allegheny Health Network. All of that is straight ahead right here on Root Sports.